Okay, so now let us proceed to rational inequality. So in solving rational inequality, it should be in the form of P of x over Q of x greater than or less than, greater than or equal or less than or equal to 0. Again, 0 lang po lagi ang matitira dito sa kanan. Okay, so next is we're going to find the zeros of numerator as well as the zeros of denominator. And the next step is represent a number line or represent using a number line. And you're going to set and solve for the test value. Okay, so for example, number 1, we have 3x minus 5 over x minus 2 less than 0. So since it is already in the form of P of x over Q of x less than 0, we can now proceed in solving for the zeros of the numerator and the zeros of the denominator. So in solving the zeros of numerator, so just copy the numerator, which is 3x minus 5, then equate it to 0 and solve for the value of x. So again, kailangan ko lang is value ni x. So 3x is equal to this negative 5. Once na napunta sa kabila, it will become positive 5. So again, x lang ang kailangan ko. So I need to eliminate this 3. So divide both sides by 3. Then cancel. And x is equal to 5 over 3. So the zeros of our numerator is 5 over 3. Okay, so next is solve for the zero of the denominator. So again, copy the denominator, which is x minus 2, then equate it to 0, and solve for the value of x. So this negative 2, once na napunta sa kabila, it will become positive 2. So the value of our x is positive 2. So the zero of our numerator is 5 over 3 and the zero of our denominator is positive 2. Okay, so the next step is we're going to represent this using a number line. So once you have your number line, alamin natin saan ba natin ilalagay yung 5 over 3 at saan ba natin dapat nilalagay si positive 2. Again, in a number line, pag papunta sa kaliwa, papunta siya kay negative infinity or paliit ng paliit. Pag papunta sa kanan, papunta siya kay positive infinity or palaki ng palaki. So this 5 over 3 is mas mababa kaysa kay 2. Therefore, this 5 over 3 is located in the left side. Okay? And this positive 2 is in the right side. So, ibig sabihin, mas mataas si positive 2 kung i-compare kay 5 over 3. Okay, so next. Ano yung mga intervals na kailangan nating hanapin? So, from 2 to positive infinity, 5 over 3 to negative infinity, and in between 5 over 3 and positive 2. Okay? So, yung 5 over 3, hindi na siya kasama sa solution. As well as this 2 ay hindi rin kasama sa solution. So, bakit po? Once po na greater than lang yan or less than lang yan, ibig sabihin, yung zeros of numerator and denominator ay hindi kasama sa solution set. Excluded po silang parehas. So, ano yung hahanapin natin? In the value of x, which is greater than 2, from 2 pupunta doon sa positive infinity, value ni x, which is less than 5 over 3. So, next is the interval between 5 over 3 and 2. So, x is greater than 5 over 3, but less than 2. So, these 3 are the intervals of the given inequality. So, x is less than 5 over 3, x is greater than 5 over 3 but less than 2, and x is greater than 2. So what am I going to do next is solve for the test values. So ano ba pag sinabi nating test value? Once na alam na natin kung ano ba yung mga intervals, hanapin naman natin kung alin sa tatlong to yung magiging solution set. Alin sa tatlong yan yung magsasatisfy. So, paano natin malalaman? So, mag-set ka ng number na included dito sa part na to. Again, mag-set ka rin ng number na nandito sa gitna or sa part na to, and mag-set ka rin ng number na included dito sa part na to. Okay, so, ano yung number na less than 5/3? So, less than 5/3. Ano yung number na nasa kaliwa ng 5/3? So, that is x is equal to 0. So, once na meron ka ng test value, substitute this value to the given inequality. So, 3 multiplied by the value of x is 0 minus 5/0 minus 2 is less than 0. 3 multiplied by 0 is 0 minus 5 is negative 5, and 0 minus 2 is negative 2 less than 0. Okay, so this negative 5 over negative 2 is positive 5/2, which is less than 0. Is it a true statement or a false statement? Yung 5/2 ba is mas mababa kaysa sa 0? Again, yung 5/2 ba is mas mababa kaysa sa 0? So obviously not. So it means that this is a false statement, or this is not the solution set. Okay, so next is we're going to set a test value for this interval. So ano ba yung number in between 5/3 and 2? So ano ba yung mga numbers sa pagitan nitong dalawang to? Or ano ba yung mga numbers na pwede mo makita dito sa interval na to? Okay, so I set here as x is equal to 7/4. So, bakit po? The 7/4 is also equal to 1 and 3/4 or 1.75. So, nandito naman siya sa pagitan. Pwede ka rin mag-set ng kahit anong value as long as pasok siya dito sa interval. Okay, so kung meron ka ng value ni x, substitute the value of x in a given inequality. So, we have 3 multiplied by the value of x, which is 7/4, then minus 5/x. Again, instead of using x, I have here value, which is 7/4, minus 2, which is less than 0. Okay, so next is 3 multiplied by 7/4. So, 3 times 7 is 21/4, then minus 5/7/4 minus 2. So, find the LCD, and the LCD of this 2 is 4. So, 4 divided by 4 is 1 multiplied by 7 is 7, and 4 divided by 1 is 4 multiplied by negative 2 is negative 8. So, which is less than 0. Okay, so next is simplify the numerator and simplify the denominator. So, in simplifying the numerator, find the LCD since this is subtraction of fraction. So, that is, the LCD is 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1 multiplied by 21 is 21. 4 divided by 1 is 4 multiplied by negative 5 is negative 20 over 7 minus 8 is negative 1 over 4, which is less than 0. Okay. Okay, so just simplify. And this 21 minus 20 over 4 is positive 1 over 4 all over negative 1 over 4, which is less than 0. This 1 over 4 over negative 1 over 4 can be written as 1 over 4 divided by negative 1 over 4, which is less than 0. Okay? So, in dividing fractions, again, in dividing a fraction, find the reciprocal of this negative 1 over 4, and the reciprocal of this is negative 4. And change this division into multiplication. And next is apply the rule in multiplying fractions. So, numerator by numerator and denominator by denominator. So, 1 multiplied by negative 4 is negative 4. So, negative 4 over 4 multiplied by 1 rather, is positive 4 less than 0. So, this negative 4 over 4 is negative 1 less than 0. So, is it a true statement or a false statement? Yung negative 1 ba, mas mababa ba siya sa 0? Again, yung negative 1 ba is mas mababa ba sa 0? So, yes. Therefore, this is a true statement. Okay? So, isa na to sa solution. Check naman natin kung itong interval ba na to is pasok din sa solution set. Okay, so think of number which is greater than 2. So again, pwede kayong magbigay ng sarili nyong value basta greater than 2 or pasok dito sa interval. Okay, so x is equal to 3. So, this is greater than 2. Pwede rin naman pong 4, pwedeng 5, pwedeng 6, pwedeng 7, and so on. Okay, so if x is equal to 3, substitute the value of x in our given inequality. So, that is 3 multiplied by 3 minus 5 over the value of x, which is 3 minus 2 less than 0. So, 3 multiplied by 3 is 9 minus 5 over 3 minus 2 is 1, which is less than 0. And 9 minus 5 is 4 divided by 1 is 4 less than 0. Obviously, 4 is not less than 0. So, ibig sabihin po, this is a false statement. So, among these three intervals, x is less than 5 over 3, which is nag-false po yung nakuha natin. X is greater than 5 over 3 but less than 2, which is true yung nakuha natin. Ibig sabihin, nag-satisfy kung ano man ang binigay nating value doon sa inequality. And next interval, x is greater than 2, pero nag-false, ibig sabihin, ito ay hindi rin part ng solution. So, among these three, iisa lang po ang solution set natin. So, ano po iyon? Itong gitnang ito. So, ang solution set natin is x is greater than 5 over 3 but less than 2. Okay, so again, our solution set is x such that x is greater than 5 over 3 but less than 2, or x which is from 5 over 3 to 2 exclusively. Okay, so ibig sabihin, excluded, hindi kasama si 5 over 3 at si 2. In between lang. Sa pagitan lang ng dalawa. Okay, so kapag parenthesis ang ginamit, ibig sabihin po, excluded yung given. For example, number 2, that is 2 over x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 1. Again, the first step is you're going to make it in the form of p of x over q of x, which is greater than or equal to 0. So, ibig sabihin, 0 lang po dapat ang nandito sa right hand side. So, paano natin siya gagawing 0 lang? So, again, apply the addition property of equality. So, it will become 2 over x minus 1. This positive 1 will become negative 1 greater than or equal to 0. Okay? So, ang kailangan natin is single fraction. So, single fraction, apply the LCD. So, the LCD is x minus 1. When we say single fraction, ibig sabihin, you need to combine this 2. So, apply the rule of subtraction of fractions. So, x minus 1 divided by x minus 1 is 1 multiplied by 2 is 2. Then minus x minus 1 divided by 1 is x minus 1 multiplied by 1 is x minus 1, which is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so next is 2. Meron ako ditong negative sign, meron akong parenthesis. Sa pagtatanggal ng parenthesis o in removing a parenthesis with negative sign outside of it, kunin ang opposite sign ng nasa loob. Okay, so that is minus x, and this negative will become positive 1 over x minus 1, which is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so next is combining like terms. So that is negative x, and 2 plus 1 is positive 3 over x minus 1, which is greater than or equal to 0. So it is already in the form of p of x over q of x greater than or equal to 0. So single fraction and 0 lang yung nasa right hand side. Okay, so yung nakuha natin kanina, ito na yung gagamitin nating inequality sa pagkuha ng zeros of numerator and denominator. Again, in solving for the zero of our numerator, just copy the numerator, which is negative x plus 3. Then equate natin ulit kay 0 and solve for the value of x. So that is negative x. This positive 3 will become negative 3. Okay, so ang kailangan lang natin is x. Walang kahit anong kasama. So, we need to eliminate this negative. So, multiply both sides by negative 1. So, negative 1 multiplied by negative x, it will become positive. And negative 1 multiplied by negative 3, it will become positive 3. So, the zero of our numerator now is positive 3. Okay, so to find the zero of our denominator, so copy the denominator, which is x minus 1 equal to 0, and solve for the value of x. So this negative will become positive 1, and this is the zero of our denominator. Okay, so the next step is you're going to make a number line, or you're going to represent this using a number line. Okay, so once you have your number line, alamin na ulit natin saan ba natin ilalagay si positive 3, saan ba natin ilalagay si positive 1. So, positive 3 is greater than positive 1, therefore this 3 is on the right side, and this positive 1 is on the left side. Okay, so next is, alamin natin kung included ba or excluded itong 1 and 3. So, kanina, sinabi natin na kapag greater than lang or less than lang, ibig sabihin yung zeros of numerator and zeros of denominator ay hindi nakasama sa solution set. Pero kapag ang given is greater than or equal, o di kaya less than or equal, ibig sabihin isa dyan ay pwedeng kasama sa solution set. So, paano ko malalaman kung kasama siya? Check natin yung x is equal to 1. Okay? X is equal to 1. Paano kung ang value ni x is 1? Substitute. So, 1, negative 1 plus 3 is equal to positive 2 over 1 minus 1 is 0. So, positive 2 over 0 is undefined. Ibig sabihin, yung positive 1 is hindi na kasama. So, bakit po? Kasi po kapag ang value ni x is 1, magiging undefined yung fraction natin. And again, pagdating sa rule, yung denominator should not be equal to 0. Okay, so next. 3. What if the value of our x is 3? Check natin kung included ba or excluded. So, substitute the value of x, which is 3. So, negative 3 plus 3 is 0. Again, negative 3 plus 3 is 0. Over 3 minus 1 is 2. Greater than or equal to 0. 0 over 2 is 0. And greater than or equal to 0. So, 0 is greater than or equal to 0. This is true. So, bakit po? Naka-or equal tayo. Ibig sabihin, kung hindi man siya greater than, at least equal man lang. Okay, so nag-satisfy. Ibig sabihin, yung positive 3 ay kasama na agad sa solution set. So, this is already included. Or shaded na po tayo, ha? Kanina po is hollow circle o open circle. Once open circle po ang nilagay, ibig sabihin, hindi kasama sa solution set. Once na meron tayong shaded, pag shaded po, ibig sabihin kasama sa solution set. Okay, so hanapin na natin ano ba yung mga intervals. So, what are the 3 intervals? So, again, start from 1, less than, positive 1, greater than or equal to, positive 3, and in between this 2. Okay? So, the first interval is x is less than. Ano ulit yung value natin? We have 1. Next is x is greater than, since pakanan po ito, 3. Again, greater than or equal to 3. So, bakit po tayo nagkaroon ng or equal? Kasi po, sinabi natin kanina na included na si 3 sa solution. Since nag-satisfy siya sa pagtatest natin ng value. Okay? So, in between, x is greater than, ano yung value natin dito, which is 1, but less than or equal to 3. Again, naka-less than or equal to 3 pa rin tayo since included pa rin po si 3. Wala tayo ditong equal kasi excluded si 1. Again, wala tayo ditong equal kasi excluded si 1. Okay, so we're going to set a test value for this interval which is x is less than 1. So, ano ba yung number na less than 1? So, pwede ako dito mag-negative 1, pwede ako dito mag-negative 2, pwede rin ako mag-negative 3. Bakit po? Kasi po, pasok pa rin naman siya sa less than 1. Okay, so pwede rin akong mag-0. So, bakit? 0 is still less than 1. Okay, so again, kahit anong value ang iset nyo as long as pasok pa siya sa interval ay pwede po. So, if x is 0, so just substitute the value of our x in our given inequality. So, that is negative 0 or 0 plus 3 over 0 minus 1 is greater than or equal to 0. So, that is 3 over negative 1, which is greater than or equal to 0. And this 3 over negative 1 is equal to negative 3, which is greater than or equal to 0. So, kung mapapansin nyo, yung negative 3 is not greater than or equal to 0. Okay? So, this is a false statement. So, bakit po false statement? Ang negative po is mas mababa kaysa sa 0. Okay? So, mas mataas dapat si 0 kaysa kay negative 3. So, ibig sabihin, this negative 3 is greater than or equal to 0 is a false statement. So, it only means that this interval is not included to the solution set. Okay, so let us check for the second interval. So, for the second interval, so let us think of number which is greater than 1 but less than or equal to 3. So, ano yung pwedeng number na nasa pagitan or pasok dito sa interval na to? So, pwede ako dito mag 1 and a half, pwede ako mag 1 and 3/4, pero para mas madali, pwede kong gamitin yung whole number which is 2. Okay, so pasok pa rin naman po siya sa interval. So if x is equal to 2, so we have negative 2 plus 3 over 2 minus 1 greater than or equal to 0. Negative 2 plus 3 is positive 1 over 2 minus 1 is positive 1, which is greater than or equal to 0. 1 divided by 1 is positive 1 greater than or equal to 0. So yung 1 is greater than or equal to 0 is a true statement. Bakit? Mas mataas po si 1 kaysa kay 0. Therefore, this is part of the solution set. So, let us check if this third interval is included in our solution set. So, think of number which is greater than or equal to 3. So, wag na tayong lalayo. X is equal to 4 na agad. So, if x is 4, substitute the value of x in our given inequality. So, that is negative 4 plus 3 over the value of x, which is 4 minus 1, which is greater than or equal to 0. And negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1 over 4 minus 1 is equal to 3, which is greater than or equal to 0. Again, katulad na sinabi ko kanina, mas mababa po ang negative kaysa sa 0. So, ibig sabihin, this negative 1 over 3 is greater than or equal to 0 is a false statement. This only means that this is not part of the solution set. So, ano lang ang nag-satisfy? X is greater than 1 but less than or equal to 3. Okay, so therefore, the solution set is x such that x is greater than 1 but less than or equal to 3, or from 1 to 3 and included si 3. Again, katulad na sinabi ko kanina, pag parenthesis lang, ibig sabihin hindi siya included. So, wala siyang equal dito, therefore parenthesis lang si 1. Si 3 is may equal, ibig sabihin included, kaya ginamit ko is bracket. Okay, pag parenthesis lang, ibig sabihin hindi included. Pag bracket ang ginamit, ibig sabihin included or kasama yung 3 sa solution set. So let us now proceed to the example in your learning activity sheet or LAS 2.4. So the given inequality is x minus 5 over x plus 3 greater than 0. Again, it is already in the form of p of x over q of x, which is greater than 0. So, 0 na lang naman ang natitira. Kaya pwede na tayong mag-proceed in solving zeros of the numerator and denominator. So, copy the numerator, which is x minus 5. Equate kay 0, then solve for the value of x. So, this negative 5 will become positive 5 once na napunta na siya sa kabila. Okay, so therefore, the 0 of our numerator is positive 5. Okay, and next is 0 of the denominator. So copy the denominator, which is x plus 3, and equate kay 0, and this positive 3 will become negative. So that is x is equal to negative 3. Therefore, the value of our 0 of our denominator is negative 3. Okay, so the next step is you're going to represent this using a number line. Okay, so again, alamin saan ba ilalagay si 5, saan ba ilalagay si negative 3. So, lagi nating tatandaan na kapag mas mababa, laging nasa kaliwa. Pag mas mataas, laging nasa kanan. Negative 3 is less than positive 5, therefore this negative 3 is located on the left side, and this positive 5 is on the right side. Okay, so hanapin natin ano yung intervals. So again, greater than lang po ito. So, sabi kanina, kapag po greater than lang or less than lang, ibig sabihin, hindi kasama yung zeros of numerator and denominator sa solution set. So, excluded po silang parehas. Open circle or hollow circle po yung gagawin natin. Okay? So, what are the intervals? X is greater than, ano yung value? We have 5. X is less than, ano yung value natin? Negative 3. And X is greater than negative 3 but less than 5. Okay, so once meron na tayong interval, magsaset na tayo ng test value and i-check natin kung magsasatisfy ba yung mga test values na yon doon sa given inequality. So that you will know which among of these three intervals are included in our solution set. Okay, give me a number which is less than negative 3. So again, think of number which is less than negative 3. So pwede itong negative 5, pwede itong negative 6, pwede itong negative 100, since papunta naman siya sa negative infinity, kahit negative 1,000, okay lang, as long as less than negative 3. Pero wag na tayong lalayo. Ano yung number na mas mababa kay negative 3? So that is negative 4. Okay, so once na meron ka ng test value or value ni x which is less than negative 3, substitute this value in our given inequality. So that is negative 4 minus 5 over the value of x which is negative 4, then plus 3 which is greater than 0. So negative 4 minus 5 is negative 9 over negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1 which is greater than 0. And negative 9 divided by negative 1. So negative divided by negative is positive. So that is positive 9 which is greater than 0. So obviously this is a true statement. So since 9 is greater than 0. Ibig sabihin po itong interval na to is kasama na sa solution set. Okay, so next is think of number which is in between or greater than negative 3 but less than 5. Ano yung number na nasa pagitan nilang dalawa or lagpas sa negative 3 pero hindi lalagpas kay 5? So, pwede siyang negative 2, pwedeng negative 1, pwedeng 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So, I will set the value of x as positive 4. Again, kahit ano pong value ang ilalagay niyo dyan, okay lang as long as pasok pa sa interval. So, if x is 4, substitute the value of x. So, 4 minus 5 over 4 plus 3 greater than 0. 4 minus 5 is negative 1 over 4 plus 3 is positive 7 greater than 0. So this negative 1 over 7 is greater than 0. So obviously this is a false statement. Bakit po? Kasi kailanman hindi magiging mas mataas ang negative number kay 0. So ibig sabihin lang po, this interval is not included to the solution set. So next is set the value or test value for this interval which is x is greater than 5. Give me one number which is greater than 5. So again, wag na tayong lalayo. X is equal to 6. Pero kung gusto nyo na 1,000 yan, 100,000 yan, or 1 million man yan, okay lang po as long as pasok sa interval. So the value of x is 6. So 6 minus 5 over the value of x, which is 6 plus 3, which is greater than 0. 6 minus 5 is 1 over 6 plus 3 is 9, which is greater than 0. So this 1 over 9 is greater than 0 is a true statement. So bakit po? This positive number is always greater than 0. So ibig sabihin po, this is also included in our solution set. Okay, so ano yung nag-satisfy? X is less than negative 3 and X is greater than 5. So the solution set is, kung ano yung nag-satisfy kanina, X such that X is less than 3, union, so bakit tayo may union? Kasi dalawa po ang nag-satisfy, X such that X is greater than 5. Or, from negative 3 up to negative infinity, excluded since parenthesis ang ginamit. Union tayo ulit from positive 5 to positive infinity, exclusive. Okay? So this is our solution set.